Hello, Rotarians and guests. Come on in. Hello, Rotarians and guests. Welcome to the Rotary Club of San Jose, meeting number 5,497. Come on in. Take your seats. It's 12:15 on Wednesday. It's showtime, folks. My name is Matt Breaker, and I have the honor and privilege of leading our meetings in our clubs for this Rotary year, so looking forward to a great meeting. Wanted to start things off by saying thank you to our greeting line, which was the disaster relief, led by the legendary Mary Curtis. So let's hear it for the disaster relief group doing great work in the name of Rotary. And with that, we will head over to some traveling microphones. We've got Kelsey and Mary. Where is Kelsey? Hello, Kelsey. Introduce yourself if you would. Name and sponsor, please.
Yes. Hi, everyone. My name is Kelsey Donnellan. Sponsors Nancy Williams and Dan Orloff. I've been in Rotary for about a month, so nice to see you all.
Lovely. So glad you're here. And Mary Peterson.
Yeah, Mary's not quite here yet, Matt, but I'll stand in for her.
Oh, my God.
Just for some fun here.
We can find a red badger before we even start.
No, I'm good. I'll hand it to her as soon as she walks in. She just got a new position with Hyatt.
Oh, terrific.
Leaving Hayes, so I'm sure it's something.
Dave, terrific that you're stepping in. But let's move on to guest introductions. Love to have everyone with guests. Please stand up. We'll get the traveling mics to you for introductions. And we should be able to get to our screen here. We're not...
How you doing? Good.
Of course, we're having technical difficulties, John. Let's start with guest introductions. Right over here.
All right,
Yes.
Scott Hughes here. My sponsor is Vice Mayor Pam Foley, and I have my colleagues Kyle Lavaroni and Jonathan Engelman here with me today.
Terrific. Welcome both.
Thanks,
of you.
President
Kyle,
Matt.
Nice to see you. Past President Mike Block is right over here. Folks, if we could direct our attention to the guest introductions, please.
Good afternoon, President Matt, Mike Block, Block Construction. My sponsor was the late, great Pierre Protis. It's my pleasure to reintroduce Shane Bohart, founder, CEO of FBO Real Estate Advisors.
Wonderful. Welcome. Thank you.
Matt Breaker, Randy Zeckman with Clean Roofing and Clean Solar. I have a guest here today, Ryan Fenchall from Integra Insurances, and he's also a former member.
That's right. Welcome back. Had a nice chat with you in the hallway. Terrific. Tim. Hello, Tim.
Yes, President. Tim Hagstrom, San Jose State University Committee. I have 4 Rotaractors with me today, recently joined, who are members of the Honors Management class at San Jose State. So Grace and Heap, Jacob, and Michael.
Terrific. Welcome. I love it.
It's I.
Janica, hello.
Hello, Janica Clem. And for those of you who are Leadership San Jose alums, I'm thrilled to introduce a few of this year's cohort members from Leadership San Jose. We have Brent Gardner with Federal Realty Santana Row, Andrea Cohen with Cohen Family Auto, Sidoni Naismith with Black Swan Consulting, and she's already a Rotarian, but Nicole Lecter is also in Leadership San Jose. Thank you.
Terrific. Thank you so much. Right over here. Yeah.
Hello, Mr. President. Christian Pilecchia. My sponsor is Mr. Rod Diridon. Today I've invited my dear friend, Matt Slater with Slater Construction. He's visiting us from the Santa Cruz Rotary.
Oh, terrific. Welcome, fellow Rotarian. It's great. James, right over here.
Okay. James Williams. My sponsor was Suzanne St. John Crane. I haven't said that in a long time, so happy to acknowledge her. Happy to reintroduce Michael Gallagher, former superintendent of the Sunnyvale School District, former president of Sunnyvale Rotary, and soon-to-be member, hopefully, here as he's completed his application.
Music to our ears. I love it. I love it. Okay. Arlie, right over here. We'll go right over here. Yes. Hello.
Hi. Thank you. I'm Ellery Middlebrook. My sponsor is Rod Diridon. And for those of you who are interested in who won the Rotary Challenge Award as a graduate student from the Urban Planning Department at San Jose State, it is my guest today, Sophie. Would you stand up? Sophie
Terrific. Welcome.
is my assistant, and I mentor her, and I am thrilled to have her with me today.
Oh, wonderful. Welcome. Okay, I see Michelle in the back there. Are you, here we go, microphone to Michelle. Oh,
I'm right here.
Mick, hello.
I'll go first.
Yes, hello. We'll
Mr.
work.
President, hello. My guest today is Dr. Andre Habish, the very recently former Dean of the Catholic University of Eichstätt in Germany.
Fabulous, welcome. Hello, Madison, right over here.
Good afternoon, President Matt. I'm Madison. My sponsor is past President Heather Lerner, and my guest today is Renee Ramirez, the CEO of Home First Services.
Terrific. Now we've got Michelle in the back. Hello, Michelle.
Hi. Michelle Loxon. I'm very proud to be part of the ROD squad. My sponsor's Rod Derritt. My guest today is Nick Daher. He's the Director of Philanthropy for Boys and Girls Clubs of Silicon Valley.
Welcome, terrific. Sandra Jewett, right over here.
President Matt, Sandra Jewett. My sponsor was Yvonne Montezoca. I have a pleasure to introduce you to my husband, Dr. John Copeland, professor at University of San Francisco, Jesuit. Thank you.
Terrific. Any other guest introductions? Larry, hello. Let's hear it, folks. Larry Stone.
Larry
He's
Stone.
so cool. Yeah, exactly.
My sponsor was the great Peter Carter. My guest today is the Assistant Assessor, Nisa Fliegor, who I hope will be the next assessor succeeding me. Thank you.
Okay, terrific. Welcome. Right over here. Yes, hello. We're going to get a microphone over here.
Oh, way over there.
We're not following our left to right protocol, but we'll get our steps in. That's okay.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi, good afternoon. I'm Noelle. I was just introduced last week, so
Yep.
thank you so much. My sponsors are Steve Ellenberg and Daniel Zazueta. Thank you so much. And Fernando Zazueta. I have two guests today. I'd love to introduce my colleague Keith Hertzberger, Budget and Innovation Advisor for the Mayor's Office. And then my colleague Doug Moody, who is a Corporate Outreach Officer in the Office of Economic Development.
Terrific. Welcome to you both. I love it. Okay. I think that's it. Well, welcome to all of our guests today. We've got a fun meeting planned, and thank you to all our Rotarians who bring in guests. It's a great introduction to the club, and please come back, check us out, and join us if we appeal to you, which I hope and think we will. Okay, next up, we have our Blue Badge presentations. Oh, always great. As everyone knows here, when you join the club, you're a Red Badge member for a year, and at the end of your one-year Red Badge service, you become a Blue Badge, and we swap out the Red Badge, and you're in for life at this point, hopefully. And we've got multiple ones today. So I'd like to welcome up to the stage today to get their Blue Badge, Amelia Capsuto, Chin Chow Chang, Deb Davis, Ray Watts, Melody Walsh, and Allery Middlebrook. Oh, and here we go. We'll start with Melody Walsh. Come on up. Here we go. Let's give it up for our new Blue Badger. I'll swap this out for you. Thank you. There we go. Why don't you step right over here? We'll do a group photo in a second. Howie Chang, come on up. Let's hear it. Give it up, folks. We'll swap that out. Stay right over there for a photo. Okay, Amelia, terrific. Here we go. Amelia, folks. Ray Watts. Ray Watts, give it up for Ray Watts. Love it. Here you go. You don't have it, so throw that on there right over there for the photo. We've got Allery Middlebrook. Come on up. Show some love. Thank you so much. We'll take a group photo over in a second. And Deb Davis, let's hear it right over here. Okay. There you go. Thank you. Let's take a group photo. Oh, they're going over there. They'll take the group photo. Wonderful. Okay. While that's happening, next up we have our monthly segment of Did You Know by past President Karen Sinanu Towery. And is it working?
That's it. Leave it on there.
Her walk-up music, All That Jazz by Cheetah Rivera. Why? That was her theme during her year. Let's hear it. Okay. You know what to do.
And all that jazz. Stop that.
It will stop, just like it did.
Okay, hi.
Show some love to Karen.
Okay.
Earlier this month, the International Committee put on a fabulous event that they do every year, and it got me to thinking about the outreach that we do as a club internationally. So first, I'd like to go over a little bit of the history of how we became Rotary International. So as we know, in 1905, Rotary was formed, the first club in Chicago, and that was simply called the Rotary Club of Chicago. In 1910, the first club outside of the United States was formed in Winnipeg, Canada. And so after that, Rotary became the National Association of Rotary Clubs in Americas, plural. In 1912, after London and Dublin started Rotary clubs, the name was yet again changed to the International Association of Rotary Clubs. And shortly thereafter, we joined. So when this club was formed, it was called the International Association of Rotary Clubs. And then things really started to pick up all over the world. In 1919, there were clubs in Asia, 1920 in South America, finally Africa and Australia. So Rotary then became Rotary International as it is today. In 1923, our club did its first international work. And we got together with other clubs in the region, like the Palo Alto Club, and we gathered money to send to Tokyo for a major earthquake there. And by 1932, our club had what is currently our international committee. And I just can't even name all the things that this club has done internationally to promote welfare, peace, and friendship. We, of course, have Rotoplast trips, we have youth exchange, wheelchair donations, disaster relief, water projects, school improvements, medical equipment that we sent, and of course, Polio Plus, just to name a few. So our club has reached beyond our own community and really made a difference in the world. But, however, I have to tell you that we were involved in an international incident in 1982, and I will read to you from the Mercury News, April 16th, 1982. Off limits, President Reagan told the Russians to butt out of the Falklands, and apparently that means out of San Jose as well. Russian Vice Consul was scheduled to address the San Jose Rotary Club this week, but for the second straight time, the State Department denied him permission to travel outside of San Francisco. A State Department spokesman declined to give a reason, but it's hard to believe they think he's safer there. The denial might have been averted a worsening U.S.-USSR relations, if that's possible. The Holiday Inn's entree for the Rotary Luncheon, Hungarian goulash. Now, we just don't get articles like that from the Mercury anymore. But shortly thereafter, a few people in Rotary decided to play a prank on Mel Wright, who was the president at that time. And they hired 3 actors, a man who posed as an agricultural commissar and two of his bodyguards. You can see him here. He's the large actor there, and on the right is our president. And he brought lots of vodka, and the president had to keep toasting. So when the president was pretty toasted, the actor took off his shoe in memory of Khrushchev and started banging on the table and bad-mouthing America, at which point club members were piling out of the Holiday Inn where our meeting was, and then the joke was told. So that's a little bit about our international history.
And of course, back to the, that was great. Thank you, Past President Karen. And of course, 1987 is when we actually became truly international, because we know what happened that year, folks. The year of the women, folks. Come on now. So, all righty. Next up, we have the fabulous Sandra Jewett, who is our champion for ending polio, and she's going to come up to us and talk about that, because World Polio Day is October 24th. Show some love to Sandra, please. Thank you. Right there.
Well, I'm doing my polio update, my yearly update, and I just wanted to give you some good news, some great news, and we need some help. Just to give you some history, Rotary has been involved in immunizing children all over the world. In fact, 3 billion children have been vaccinated in 122 countries. We've contributed over $2.6 billion, countless volunteer hours, partnered globally to reduce polio by 99.9%. That's huge. Now, if you are my age or perhaps a little bit older, perhaps a little bit younger, you might remember polio. Contagious, horrible virus that paralyzes kids. It attacks the brain, the spine, and sad is that it is preventable. It's not curable, but it's preventable. Just to give you a little bit of history, 1940s, overnight in Ohio, we had 232 cases, an outbreak. By 1950s, 21,000 Americans were paralyzed. 3,000 died of polio. That's not that far ago, you guys. In the early 1980s, 3,000 children were paralyzed daily globally. Imagine if this affected your own home. Wow. However, the good news is that 99.9% of polio cases have been reduced. 20 million people are walking today, because otherwise they would have been paralyzed, and 1.5 million lives have been saved. 1.5 million. Yeah. So, little history, 3 types of polio, type 1, 2, and 3. Type 2 and 3 are nearly eradicated. Type 1 remains endemic in 2 countries, Afghanistan and Pakistan. But check this out. All this because polio, doesn't stop at, oh, we're not going to cross the border, right? I mean, polio does not know any borders. And if we were to stop now, 200,000 children would be paralyzed every year within a decade. Wow. Afghanistan this year, as of Friday when I did this report, we have only 9 new cases, 24 cases last year. In Pakistan, 29 cases as of Friday, and 74 cases last year. That's pretty darn good, don't you think? So what can we do? Well, Gates Foundation's doing it again. 2-to-1 match. So $60 protects 300 children. $100 that you contribute today can immunize 1,500 children. And $1,000 buys 2,100 vaccine carriers that keeps the vaccine cold in remote areas. So every one of your dollars brings us closer to 0 cases. So if you donate today, just raise your hand. I have 4 great helpers who will give you a pin if you donate $50 today. And if you're close to reaching $1,000, you will be honored at next year's Paul Harris Fellow Celebration. But more importantly, you're going to make a difference in the lives of so many that you don't even know. So helpers, can you please raise your hand if you're ready to make that donation? Because the QR code is right here. It's tax deductible, and together we can reach that magic number of 0. So thank you. Please keep your hands up. And Leah and Leslie and John, there we go. And thank you so much for your time and your contribution. It's really going to make a huge impact. 3 minutes.
Stay right here. That's wonderful. And Sandra Jewett, I have here for you a challenge coin. As folks know, we're giving out challenge coins. The folks that are champion Rotary. You do it in multiple ways. You do it with the End Polio movement, and you're also head of our RotoCare committee. So thank you so much for all your service. There you go. Okay. Sandra Jewett. Okay, everyone has hopefully had a chance for that. Yes. Okay. I love sharing good news, and we've got some good news to share here. About 2 weeks ago, our very own past President Carl Salas and his lovely wife Marianne, are they in the house here today? The Salas is in the house. Can we? They're somewhere, I hope. There we go. Exactly. Yes, they were honored at the Valley of Heart's Delight with the award that was given at our History Park right here. For their incredible generosity and service to our community. So well deserving. It was a wonderful night, a beautiful night outside, and lots of people in attendance. And it was just wonderful to see two of our own recognized in that way. But I have to tell you, as I was watching it happen, I was so happy for them, so well deserved. But what I really love most about Carl and Marianne, it's not just the way how generous they are with their money and their time. It's their spirit, the way they bring the energy, the smile, the positivity they bring to everything they do. It's just infectious. We're lucky to have them in our club. So let's hear it for those Salases, folks. Okay, and we've got as a perfect segue over to our time to share some good news. You know what this means, folks. If you've got some good news to share, today's to do it. Please stand up. We'll get the microphone to you. We'll ring the bell. $100 to the foundation, spreading good works throughout our community. So, folks with the mics and people with good news, please rise. Here we go. Let's hear some good news, folks. Sean, right over here.
Hey, hi. Sean O'Kane, and my sponsor is Elizabeth Monley. One ring for my son's foundation, Colin O'Kane Foundation. We just donated $5,000 this year to the student-athlete program at Sonoma State. And we also buy defibrillators and donate for research for hypertrophic cardiomyopathy. Thank you.
Oh, wonderful. Thank you. That's terrific. Okay. Emily.
Hi there, President Matt. My name is Emily Robin. My sponsors are Steve Borkenhagen and Mike Conniff. My mom, Sandy, was a longtime Cupertino Rotarian, and at their club they called it President's Club, but it was the same thing as Ring the Bell, where you could share any news you wanted for $100. And my mom always participated in President's Club. Every month, no matter what was going on, she would find something to share that was worth spending $100 to contribute to the good work that her club was doing. So I would like to ring the bell once in honor and memory of my mother, and I hope that everyone can think of something that they are happy and would like to celebrate and is worth contributing $100 to the great work that we do.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. There we go. Leslie?
Hi, Leslie Guardino. My sponsor was Rod Diridon. And I'd like to share our daughter just competed, she's a junior at Pepperdine University. She just competed in a cross-country race. She was third on the team overall. She smashed her PR by 20 seconds, and she's maintaining a 4.0 GPA. So go, Jessica.
Lovely. Terrific. And she's interning at the DA's office doing, as we like to say, God's work. She's a delight to work with, and she's doing great. So look forward to seeing what happens with her. Joan, hello.
Hi, I'm Joan Escobar, and my sponsor was Bonnie Bamberg. And today I'd like to ring the bell twice because I am going to have our wine release party this weekend. We're having Friday night will be a speakeasy. So come on over. You can have some whiskey, cigars, some great wine. And Saturday will be a carnival. So any of you guys that have any kids, come get some pumpkins and some stuff. So I'd like to ring the bell twice and invite you all to come. Everybody has got a wine, but nobody's got a print shop like mine.
I love it. Thank you. Okay. Stephanie, so fabulous. Riding high from that wonderful event last week. That was great.
That's why I want to ring the bell once today. Stephanie Belansky Fair, my sponsor, is Leah Schnorr. And I just want to ring the bell once to thank everyone for attending the Lee Weimers event and to thank my committee for the fabulous job that they did. Totally appreciate it, and it turned out great.
It was great. If you were there, it was just, as always, a wonderful highlight event of the year. So we'll head back to Sarah, maybe back there.
No, I'm here.
All right, Nancy, take it
Me
away.
first.
Oh, yeah, me first. Take it away, Nancy.
I'm Nancy Williams, and my sponsors were Jim Eller and Linda Gold, and I want to ring the bell
for Linda Gold, my sponsor, who just is decided to come back into Rotary, and to the board for making her like a special category so she could come back into Rotary for Minneapolis, and I'm pretty sure she's on the Zoom call today. Hi, Linda.
Hello,
this one's
Linda.
for you. Yay.
All right, thank you so much. Ed, take it away.
Ed Correa, my sponsor was the late Dave Haggerty. Awesome Rotarian. Sagase, my company, was included in the Inc. 5000 fastest growing companies. So.
That's great news. Wonderful. Okay. Oh, the wonderful Sarah Klisch. Hello, Sarah.
Hello, President Matt. Sarah Klisch. My sponsor is Nate Deaton, a name we have not heard in a while. I want to ring the bell twice. $100 to thank the entire Lee Weimers Committee for a fantastic event, and for Stephanie for stepping in beautifully to the role of chair. I officially have handed it off to you. Yay. And then my second ring the bell is to congratulate City Lights for a fantastic Halloween holiday play, Dracula, A Comedy of Terrors. If you missed it, you should cry, because it was so funny, and you should go see their holiday show. So.
I love it. Okay. Past President Fernando.
President Matt, I'd like to ring the bell twice. Once because I just celebrated our 50th anniversary of being a lawyer from UC Davis.
Wonderful.
And secondly, because my mom, and thanks to Dr. Robin, she reminded me, I want to thank my mom for bringing me here at age 2 to this wonderful country.
Fernando, wonderful. Every time I hear your story, it's inspiring. The amazing Marianne Salas back
President Matt, I guess my sponsor is Steve Borkenhagen.
there. Yes, past President
There's
Steve.
a
Well
special
done.
word for him. Okay, President Matt, I'm kind of disappointed in you.
Uh-oh. I'll put down the bell ringing device here. I'm so sorry.
Given that I've pimped out half of this room to you for fines, you had me. When you invited me to the meeting today, I was sure you would fine us, but you, for some reason, backed off, and I do appreciate it, although I am somewhat disappointed. That's, where's our prosecutorial?
Voluntarily, we accept those. Yes, so.
So I'm going to ring the bell. I'm going to get off so easy one time for you, in hopes that you reform your slackered ways. One.
Thank you so much. I love it. Thank you, Marianne. Yes, your day is coming. I'm sorry to say that, but keep attending. Yes, Michelle. Hello.
Is that working? Hi. 2 weeks ago, Boys and Girls Club celebrated International Day of the Girl, where 250 women came together with 250 girls for a day of inspiration and empowerment. And I just want to ring the bell to celebrate the many women who showed up big time for these girls, including many women right here in this room, and especially want to thank Vice Mayor Pam Foley for her support.
Wonderful.
Hi, President
Sarju,
Matt. Sarju Naran, my sponsor is Gene Serpa. First of all, Happy Indian New Year to everybody. I want to ring the bell one time for my daughter, Jasmine. She's a senior in high school, Archbishop Mitty. She's graduating in a few months, but more importantly, she's in the thick of her college applications right now. She'll get her final SAT score results tomorrow. Keeping our fingers crossed, and I just want to wish her luck in this college application season.
Wonderful. Thank you. Okay. Hello.
Hi, I'm Julie Anderson. My sponsor was Janica Clem. And this is just a proud mom ringing the bell for my daughter who launched her first rocket last week as part of the team at Starbase. She was responsible, she's 23, and she was responsible for all the avionics on the 11th test flight that went up last week and was a huge, huge success. So one for Ava.
Terrific. That's great. I believe you've got Ron right over here.
Behind you. Behind you. Okay. I'm coming. She's got it.
Getting the steps in. Right here, Mary. Right up here.
Oh, jeez.
Here we go. Thank you, Ron. Here we go.
Thank you, President Matt. Ron Gonzalez, and my sponsor, get ready, was Larry Stone.
Ooh.
I want to ring the bell 3 times because on October 4th, the Hispanic Foundation of Silicon Valley hosted our 36th annual Hispanic Ball, and with the help of many sponsors and individuals, some of which are in this room, we raised over $840,000 in one night.
Oh, that is terrific. Melanie, hello.
Hi, President Matt. My sponsor is Elizabeth Monley, and I want to ring the bell to celebrate my first year as a Rotarian.
I love it. That is terrific. Thank you. Past President Mike Block, hello.
President Matt, is Steve Borkenhagen in the room? Would he please stand up?
Oh my, here we go.
Yeah, so I'm going to ring the bell a bunch of times, and many of them are going to be in honor of the great Steve Borkenhagen, who about a month ago joined me in the most epic golf adventure of all time. So some of you may have seen on social media, about a month ago, there was a PGA Tour event up at Silverado in Napa, and I somehow got lucky enough to be invited to play in the Pro-Am on the Wednesday beforehand, not knowing who my pro partner would be. And so I'm there Tuesday night, and we open up the envelope, and sure enough, the next morning at 0700, we're playing with Scottie Scheffler, the world's #1 golfer.
Oh my God, jackpot.
And of course, Mr. Borkenhagen was my great caddy for the day. He became best friends with Ted Scott, Scottie Scheffler's caddy, who in his own way is quite famous. And we had the most amazing time. We went on to not only have an amazing morning and became best friends with Scottie Scheffler, but we ended up winning the Pro-Am at 18 under.
Now
So
I'm ready. Now I'm ready. Here we go.
You're going to mark me down for at least 18 bells. And then a couple other things. I'm going to do one more for Steve. He was kind enough, I'm just going to go on the full golf thing here for a minute. You guys know I'm kind of a golf enthusiast. Steve invited me out to his nice golf course about 3 months ago or so, and I had my personal best, first time ever breaking par. Shot 70 on his course, so thank you, Steve, for that. And last but not least, I'm just really excited about this Rotary Peace Project. And for those of you who weren't around during the Rotary Play Garden, these are really hard projects to pull off. This one's been served up to us on a silver platter. It's an amazing opportunity for Rotary. Please mark me down for that. Let's just round up to 20 rings.
Mike,
Thank you.
So amazing. Past President Rod, you got to do it in 20 seconds or less. Take it away. 20 seconds, the clock's starting. Tick-tock,
Talking
tick-tock.
about me?
Yes, go.
Okay. I've never spoken for 20 seconds. Gloria and I had the great honor recently of hosting an event for Nisa Flager. And she gave a presentation there that convinced us that she's ready to become assessor and is serving, of course, as the assistant now. And we're so pleased to be supportive of her.
Terrific, thank you. Okay. Thank you all for your incredible generosity. As I said, it goes to the endowment, which turns around and goes right back into our community through our grants and our committee work, so thank you so much. We're going to move along. We're going to skip a few things here, but we're going to get right to our speaker. We'll fill some of these things in a bit. Next week, we've got Dr. Maya Ackerman, but this week we've got Russ Hancock, and Mick Greco is going to give the introduction. Show some love to Mick. Here we go.
Good afternoon, everybody. If you read the newspaper, if you listen to the radio, if you watch the evening news, or certainly if you are a member of this club, I am fairly certain that you know Dr. Russell Hancock. President and CEO of Joint Venture Silicon Valley and the Institute for Regional Studies, which are collectively known as the clearinghouse for Silicon Valley analysis and problem solving, Russ has been described variously as a civic leader, a community gatherer, an institution builder, a civic entrepreneur, a social scientist, and outspoken advocate for our region and regionalism at large. In his personal life, Russ is a trained concert pianist and founder of the St. Michael Trio, a lay minister in his church, a husband, a father, and a grandfather, and an uncompromising friend. His full resume is longer than this and even more distinguished, and available online at jointventure.org. So without any further ado, it's my great pleasure to introduce my former boss, Russ Hancock.
Thank you, Mick. That was a lovely introduction. And Mr. President, thank you for having me here today. I just want to say that I look out at this room and I see people that I love, people I admire, people I respect. I want to thank you for everything that you mean to our community and for being people that are here in the spirit of community. Okay, I am going to tell you about a few things to do with the Bay Area. There it is. It looks so peaceful from outer space. But I always tell people to remember that the world's most prodigious economy in the history of regional economies was dropped onto this landscape, which is surrounded on three sides by water and ringed by mountains and hills and permanently protected open space. It was really bad planning on our part. If we had located Silicon Valley in Kansas or Nebraska or one of the square states, no problem. We would be just fine. So most of what we'll be talking about is because of this as our context. Now, let me tell you that every year at Joint Venture we release what we call the Silicon Valley Index. It's like going to the doctor for your annual checkup. We release it in February every year. Invite me back. I would love to tell you what's in the index going into 2026 and beyond. But we have added a companion product, and that's this one. It's called the Silicon Valley Poll. And so I thought I would talk to you about the poll today. In other words, instead of telling you what's going on clinically with Silicon Valley, or instead of telling you what I think is happening in Silicon Valley, I thought I would tell you what you think is going on in Silicon Valley, and I think you'll see that some of it is interesting. Okay, so we release this poll every October, and we've been doing it now for 5 years. We've been doing it in partnership with the Bay Area News Group. I see many of my journalist friends in the audience today. I appreciate that. And we've been doing this now for 5 years, which enables us to track important questions about how the region is feeling, what the mood is, and our opinions on important current events. So let's just plunge in. I'm going to hit some of the headlines for you today. We've asked this question every year. We ask people, are you happy with the direction that the Bay Area is going right now? And I have to tell you, we've been really sour for the last 5 years, really sour. People have not been happy with the Bay Area's direction. In fact, we got up to the point where 71% of the people responding said, Bay Area on the wrong track, completely wrong track. Well, guess what? That's improving. This year we had a near majority. Is that a majority? Yes, nearly a majority saying, no, we're actually on the right track. Now, you can interpret this different ways, and I welcome you to do that. One way to do it is to say the glass is half empty. 47% of the people think the Bay Area is on the wrong track. That's a big number, but we picked up about 30 percentage points, people thinking that we're back. So that's one really interesting finding. Then we asked the same question about the quality of life. We said, over the past 5 years, do you think the Bay Area's quality of life has improved? And folks were saying no. Answer to that was a resounding no, as recently as 2 years ago, when 78% said, nope, it's getting worse, not better. But this year, we made progress on that. And I thought I would actually break that one down for you. So we have the ability to look at all the crosstabs and stratifications. Here we're looking at it by where people live. And I thought this was interesting. So if you live in this county, we've picked up 14 percentage points. 14% think it's actually improved over the past 5 years. Santa Clara, you see that. But then the most The most striking result was San Francisco. And here I'll just pause on that for a moment. Our friends up to the north, beautiful city by the bay, has had this narrative for several years, a narrative in the national dialogue where it's been treated like the whipping boy of the United States. People just seem to have all this schadenfreude about San Francisco's travails, saying it's in a doom loop and that it's fallen down and that it can't get up. Even to the current day, when there's all of this talk coming from our nation's capital about whether National Guard has to be sent in, so on and so forth. So this is why this is such a striking result. If you ask San Franciscans themselves, they think the city's just fine. They're San Francisco and proud. So I thought that was a significant result that I would highlight for you. Now, for the most part, as people responded to questions like this, we didn't see any significant differences when you stratify it by the different demographic categories like income or race or age or education level. But I did want to bring to your attention that there was, in the result, a major partisan split. And so that's important for us to know about ourselves. So this is what, let me tell you what this chart is telling you. If you just average all the folks in the Bay Area and ask them if we're headed in the right direction, so 47% say yes, we are. However, if you ask Republicans, people who voted for Mr. Trump in the last election, fully 85% of those respondents say Bay Area on the wrong track. If you ask Democrats the same question, look at that. Only in the 30s think that we're on the wrong track. So like the rest of the nation, there's actually, we can observe polarity in the Bay Area as well. Now, this has been in the headlines quite a bit. The notion that there is an exodus out of Silicon Valley, an exodus out of the Bay Area. So I thought I would speak to that for just a moment because we posed a question about that. But before we do that, I want to show you some actuals. Here are some actuals coming out of the Silicon Valley Index. This is an opinion. This is objectively measured fact. Over the last 10 years, the Bay Area has been losing population. I don't know if you know that, but we're steadily declining as we become an aging population and as the birth rate declines, and then as immigration into the region has fallen off as a result of policy stances coming from our national government. So we've had steady population drain. Then during the pandemic, it is a fact, 66,000 people left the region. They took advantage of the fact that you could work somewhere else and hold on to your Silicon Valley job, and off they went, 66,000 people. So that's when we started asking, well, are you going to leave? Are you seriously considering leaving the Bay Area? We asked folks that, and here's what we found. When we asked that question in 2022, 57% said, yes, I'm making plans to leave. When we asked it this year, that had fallen to 44%. So it used to be majority saying they're going to leave. It's not the case any longer. Now, by the way, back to actuals. I think we should also understand this about ourselves. We were curious to know where those 66,000 people actually ended up. If you were to read the papers, you have the impression that they went to Austin, and you have the impression that they went to Miami, Seattle, and those have definitely been destinations. But here's what you should also understand, that fully 25% of those who departed didn't leave the Bay Area. They went to the perimeter of the Bay Area. And we know the reason why. It's because housing is more affordable out there. And we also know that it became easier to live further out but still hold on to your Silicon Valley job. Now you only have to come in a couple days a week, if at all. And so we saw that. But then we were very interested to learn that another 25% were still in California. They went to what I call the greater Silicon Valley. They're in Northern California, in Sacramento and beyond. So those are the facts, and then we pair that with what we learned, that fewer and fewer people now are thinking to leave. We think the exodus is over. That's where we're coming from when we look at all of this. Now, we thought it'd be interesting to ask those who are staying why they want to stay. And, you know, there's the list. You can see. My family's here. The weather's terrific, which it is. I grew up here. I want to stay here. You know, there's a lot of pull factors, things that are keeping us here. And then there's this narrative about the Bay Area that it's the politics that distinguish this place. People think of the Bay Area as very famously blue, right, or liberal. And so we were curious if that was being identified as a reason to stay. If you're staying, is it because you feel comfortable here in the liberal environment? And actually, no, that didn't surface. That was much further down the list and not a decisive factor, apparently. Then we went and asked people who are saying they'd like to leave, what is driving them? What are the push factors? And guess what? You already know the answer. It's the cost of housing. And by the way, I'd like to insert a little pointer for everybody. The answer to any question you will ever be asked about the Bay Area is housing. That's the answer. And here you see it here. The thing that's pushing people out is the cost, is the high cost of the Bay Area. And so then we thought, well, but let's check that national narrative. Is it the politics? Is it the fact that we're so famously liberal? Is that driving you out of the region? And here that didn't surface. It did not surface as a major factor. So we should know that about ourselves. However, if you ask people who voted for Mr. Trump in the last election, they do identify that as a major driving force for them. They're tired of our politics. Okay, so those are some interesting findings. Again, we're polarized. We experience the same polarization that we're seeing in the rest of the nation, but at different percentages because of the way a majority of us are registered as Democrat or independent. Okay, let's move along here. I would like to tell you that we've been asking every year what people see as the biggest problems. And we've been interested to track that, see if there's any change from year to year. Well, this year we said, what do you think are the Bay Area's biggest problems? You already know the answer because I gave it to you. There it is. Yeah, it's housing. People identify housing as our biggest issue. It's housing, it's the cost of living, and it's the rise of homelessness. It's a strong finding. It's a definitive finding. Now, I want to show you what that looks like. We asked it this year, and there it was. Cost of housing, top. We asked it last year, and same result. We asked in 23, same result. For every year that we've done the survey, same result. Now, there have been other surveys that we've tracked over the decades, actually, and it's interesting to us that some things actually had fallen out of the list. 10 years ago, if you asked the same question, people said it was transportation and congestion. That was the highest thing on their list. Fallen off. It's completely fallen off. Crime used to be on this list, also fallen out of the top 10. So we think that's significant. By the way, folks aren't wrong. They're not making this up. I think you already know this. I'm just telling you what you already know. We have the nation's highest housing costs. I can show you that with 59 charts if you'd like. Or I can just show you this nation's highest housing costs. Oh, this is a fun one. This is the percentage of cost-burdened households. That means you are spending more than 50% of your income on housing. And 30% is the recommended, federal recommended. In our state and in the Bay Area, we're spending 50% of our income on housing. We're the only state in the union that reaches that level, so we're number one, right? There you have it. Our homeless population continues to grow at precipitous rates, and so, again, these are actuals. This shows you the actual count. By the way, this count would be off the charts. It would be double. It would be triple were it not for the Herculean efforts of nonprofits and faith communities and government programs and our taxpayer dollars, and yet still that number continues to grow. And it is directly linked to the cost of housing. It's also linked to other factors, but these things are all richly intertwined, and we think the survey is telling us that loud and clear. We thought we'd ask if anything has changed in this list over the last 5 years that we've been tracking. And just so you know, nothing's changed. Nothing's really changed, with only one exception, and that would be this one. Crime. Concern about crime has fallen significantly over the past year. So that's a piece of good news. People are feeling that way. And then again, here's actuals. You'll see this in the Silicon Valley Index. This is showing you just one of our 9 counties. It happens to be San Francisco County, but that's because San Francisco's narrative has been dominating the news, or they've been bludgeoned by the national dialogue, when in fact the actuals show that crime is going down in every category in that county and in other Bay Area counties, but look, especially that one. So we thought that was an important finding. This was something we were interested to learn. We asked, do you ever feel like you're not treated well because of something about you, like your cultural background, your religiosity, or your ethnicity? Do you ever feel that way living in the Bay Area? We asked folks that, and a large majority said no. So that's good news. However, 27% of us say, yeah, actually I do. I feel like I'm not treated as well because of one of those things. So that's something that we can all think about, and we should be thinking about. Then if you stratify that result by race, we're very sad to report that it's a differential result, and our Black or African American residents actually feel, 44% feel like they're not treated well because of one of these factors. So we have work to do there. Let me tell you a couple things about one of the poll's findings around the question of financial insecurity. Again, I'm reminding you, cost, right? Cost, that's the big issue facing Bay Area residents. But I just thought it would interest you to know that when we ask, do you have enough money after you've paid all your bills every month? Do you have anything left over for savings? And the answer to that question is no for 47% of respondents. So you should know that about half of the people living in the Bay Area are literally on the edge. They're just one bad break away from something. And now here's some more actuals. This is showing you that in actuality, about a third of Silicon Valley households are not self-sufficient. They require some form of assistance in order to get by every month. And that assistance is coming from family, a faith community, from a government program, or from friends. So that's the sort of place we live in. The narrative about us is that we're a region of high flyers. That's also true, but don't ever forget, about a third of us aren't getting by from month to month. We asked people if they're feeling the squeeze from inflation. Sure enough, they are. And then we asked, well, where has it hurt you the most? And the answer was food, cost of food. Besides housing, remember, that's always the answer to every question. But besides that, they said, yeah, we're really feeling it around a couple of areas. One is the cost of childcare. One is the cost of food. Those have been really marked increases. And then we thought, well, is that tracking with actuals? And this is the inflation rate, and sure enough, it tracks. It totally tracks. Food has grown at a faster rate. Transportation is growing at a faster rate, and those are the things that people identified. So given that the people were really feeling the squeeze, we said, well, how are you coping? How are you facing the squeeze? And we learned some really sad things. This tells you what we learned. We learned that people are cutting back. We learned that people are delaying prescribed medical procedures. We learned that they're cutting back on food and necessities. We learned that they're dipping into retirement accounts, even though that has significant financial consequences. Made other compromises in their life, including stacking up, living in multi-generational households when that wouldn't have been their first choice. For some of that is a first choice. But anyway, that's what we're observing when we ask people how they're feeling. Now, we dug into a question around our region's aging nature. We're aging. We're getting old. I call it the silver tsunami. All the boomers have hit retirement age, and it's happening. There's going to be a wave of these over the next 5 years. You watch, and it's going to have significant consequences, economic, social, and otherwise. So that's happening. And so we just said, well, how do you feel about retiring in the Bay Area? Do you think this is a great place to retire? And what we learned is that the people think it's not a good place to retire. Great place to live, but I can't contemplate retiring here. It's too costly. Remember, housing, too costly. So we found that result decisively. And then we asked people, how would you rate your prospects during retirement? And about half said, I'm fine. I'll be fine. I've got enough, and I'm set for retirement. But the other half said, no, we're not. We're not making ends meet, struggling to pay our bills. I'm actually in serious financial trouble. So that's what we look like around retirement. We asked people, do you feel confident that you can retire when you would like to? Do you control your destiny in that sense? And 53% say no. So a majority say no. I feel like I'm going to have to keep working even though I don't want to be. Even though I'm tired, frail, whatever, my cost factors are going to keep me in the workforce. So that was significant. Then we thought this was also significant. We asked, what do you expect your major income source will be in your retirement? And historically, that's always been Social Security. And that's what we see with our folks that are currently retired or on the cusp of retirement. But when you ask the Gen X folks, the people that are in the next wave, they are not counting on Social Security. They don't trust it, don't rely on it, and do not believe that it will be sufficient. And so they are planning on their own retirement accounts and their own retirement savings is the thing that will get them through their retirement. So that's a shift. That's a significant shift. Okay. Let me tell you about one final category that we thought was of interest this year. We wanted to ask people living in the Bay Area and people living in the state of California how they're feeling about national trends. And so we posed some questions. And really, we were trying to get at a couple of things. One is this question, is the Bay Area actually as blue as we think? Or are we turning different shades of purple? Let me show you some of the results. By the way, here's a set of questions that we asked about the tech sector. We wanted to know how people are feeling about tech. All the tech companies that have made us famous and that are the driving force, the driving factor of our regional economy. If you interpret the 2024 election as a reaction against elites, then we think this is a very important finding because in Silicon Valley, who do we tag as our elites? Well, it's very much the tech bros, right? The people that are leading these tech companies. And we thought, well, we should understand how people are feeling about the sector and its role in the region. And let me just put a little more context around that. If you asked these questions 10 years ago, I don't think you would get the result I'm about to show you. If you asked them 20 years ago, I guarantee you, people at that time had our tech companies up on a pedestal. These were heroes. These were Silicon Valley heroes. That's unambiguously. That's really how we felt. Okay, when you ask these questions today, guess what? You say to people, do you think tech is responsible for driving our costs up and making and creating the high housing prices? And 80% of residents think so. They agree with that. Then we thought, okay, yeah, but what if you're working in tech yourself? Do you still feel that way about the tech sector? And look at that, 74% think, yeah, tech's the problem here. I'm the problem, that's what they're saying in this question. Let me show you another one. Tech companies have too much power and too much influence. Do we agree with that statement in Silicon Valley? We do. 3/4 respondents say yes, that's the case. Tech, and a majority of tech workers also say that's the case. Okay, the leading tech companies have lost their moral compass. Do we agree with that? We do. 69% do. If you work in tech, a majority feels that the moral compass is no longer there. It's an interesting result. We could talk about it, we can unpack it, but there it is. I'm showing it to you in black and white. And so we shouldn't be perceived, again, by the actuals. And these are the actuals. Here's what the 2024 election looked like in the Bay Area, which we thought or think of as famously blue. But guess what? Mr. Trump grew his support 43% in the Bay Area between 2016 and 2024. 43%. That's really significant. 67 out of our 69 Silicon Valley cities saw an increase in support for Mr. Trump. It correlates, by the way, with income in those cities. It's a perfect correlation. But this is really striking. The person who is on the ticket on the Democratic side, Kamala Harris, is a Bay Area native. You would think that there would be robust support here, but in actuality, Ms. Harris, the vice president, lost support from her own county even, when compared to the 2020 election, when she was also on the ticket. So again, you should understand this as the Bay Area turning different shades of purple. That's going on. Okay, finally, we asked, how do you feel about the direction the nation's taking? Same question we asked about the Bay Area. And people in the Bay Area think we're on the wrong track. But then, guess what? It polarizes by partisanship, so no surprise, but let me just show it to you. That's what it looks like. If you are Republican, you overwhelmingly think that the Bay Area is, that the nation is on the right track. If you're a Democrat, you overwhelmingly think that the nation is on the wrong track. Again, huge polarity. But we're looking for a few little results that might be counterintuitive, and we found a couple. Let me just show you one. We asked, well, how do you feel about the decisions of the Congress and of the president right now? Are you on board with them? The Bay Area is not on board with them. Very upset about cutting academic research, very upset about the terrorists, very upset about approaches to immigration and border enforcement, very upset about the cut downs. So no surprise there. However, this is interesting. We asked Republicans if they were on board with the Trump agenda. They are, with one exception, and that's the cuts to universities and to academic research. I see I'm getting the hook, Mr. President. You can kick me off stage, that's fine. Let me just show you, this is the last result that we thought was interesting. We said California has had a progressive agenda for decades, but the national dialogue of late has been pounding California as being too progressive, too woke, too much this, too much that. Do you agree? Do you agree with those criticisms? And actually, a majority of Democrats said, yes, actually, we may have swung the pendulum too far in the state of California, and some or all of those criticisms are valid. Okay, there it is, the results of the Silicon Valley poll. Thanks again for your invitation. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Would you be able to stick around for a few questions? Russ will stick around. If people have a few questions, he'll stick around. Didn't have a chance to say this before. If you wait 1 second, we're going to get a photo taken. Want to also mention that we made a donation in your honor to Children's Musical Theater, and I've got a challenge coin for you from the Rotary Club. We'll
Thank you.
To you. It's got
Thank you.
Theme for this year.
We're taking a picture. We are.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Russ. Okay, great meeting. Thank you all. And I did want to make a couple quick announcements that I can get a chance to. One is for the ski trip. There are 2 rooms still available. Go on the bulletin. You'll see the contact you can do to sell that. Next week, there's going to be a visit to the San Jose State. If you stick around, it's a walking tour after that. And we have the vote on the Peace Project that past President Mike Block mentioned. Coming next week, you'll be getting a letter today with the details about that and the availability of voting by proxy for that. So please be on the lookout with that. Thank you all, and I'm going to send you out today with Thomas Rhett and Make Me Wanna, and with that, we'll call it a wrap. Good show, folks.